Hey, everybody. 2025 is right around the corner, and I'm going to change some things up. I've never really been one to set New Year's resolutions, but it seems like as good a time as any to make some changes. So here are some of the changes that are happening. Yesterday, I did a video talking about Patreon and all the exclusives that are going on to there and what's kind of going on in that direction. This will be more public oriented. That's all the exclusives that are going on Patreon. There's going to be a bunch of them. I'm working really hard to try to create content to make it worth it for the people who want to support monetarily in some way. But for the public facing, I'm changing up a few things to how I'm recording, what I'm recording, and where it's going. The biggest change is I'm not going to do gameplay on this channel anymore. It's kind of a gray area. What counts as fair use? What can be from someone else's created content shown on your channel, what gets pulled down, what gets demonetized. It's a whole thing. And I don't want to go into the debate of what everything is there. We did have one of my really, really old videos sometime throughout 2024 got locked for age content. It was where I made a video in Witcher 3. I didn't put any of the nudity stuff in the video, but that doesn't mean it wasn't more graphic. Let's leave it at that. And so it didn't get removed and I didn't get a strike, but it did kind of wake me up and remind me that that happens. That's just what it is. And people's content gets their channel taken down. And I'd really rather not have that happen. And also, morally, I would prefer to keep it separate as to what I go out and what I create when I'm sitting and talking to a camera or when I'm out looking for wildlife compared to just playing games. And so I'm putting gameplay on a second channel. That is starting up in a couple of days after the first of the year. I've been back recording a ton of content so that I can release a video every day. If you want to go over there and check it out, I'll put the link somewhere. You'll be able to find it. It's based on the same name that I made up at some point. It's just where I'm playing video games. I can't guarantee that's going to be interesting to everybody, and that's fair. I'm just playing games that we're starting, at least here in the beginning, games that mean something to me. Games that I've been nostalgic to play again, and I want to just play through it at least once and kind of have it on record and be able to go back 50 years from now and watch me play the game. I expect at some point these things aren't going to work forever and I'm not going to be able to play games, at least not to the same level. I'm already having that happen. I can't play games that I could like 20 years ago. I'm older. What's happening? I don't like it. I'm just playing it safe, and also then it's not spam on the main channel. But we are full steam ahead on the wildlife content. Everything that I do when I go out and look for wildlife and try to capture it on video or still photography. I've been for a couple months now trying out a on-off weekend system where I edit one weekend because I got a bunch of stuff, and then the next weekend I go out and I try to take pictures of wildlife and I try to take video of wildlife. I do my best to do all that and create a vlog out of that stuff specifically, and then release that. If I can keep up with it, it should be every week that something's coming out, but that's weather dependent, and sometimes I might be doing more or less. It'll be as often as I can make it, and I'm not going to try to hold myself to some unrealistic standard that actually winds up burning me out here. I'm not feeling that, and I still haven't been feeling that after, 7 years of doing this, so I'm really happy about that, and that's really good. You may have noticed a couple months ago I changed it up. That's going to happen from time to time whenever I'm like, this is feeling stale, let's change it up. Rather than putting everything in the title of the video, I changed it where I put, more of just like a description, and then put like, the fact that the title and the image both go hand in hand rather than duplicating it. I changed it up a bit. I was feeling like it needed a change. I'm still going to keep to the core of me in the fact that I don't want to do things like clickbait. I could. I absolutely could. And I hate it, so I would never do that. But the core of it being at least true to what's in the video. I take screenshots straight from the video to use as thumbnails. You're not getting bait and switched with other things happening. And you're not going to have me making a big old stupid face right in there with, an image of the camera that's fully decked out and a title that's like, I took a $12,000 camera out in the middle of nowhere and you won't guess what happened. No. It's stupid. I hate it. I won't do it. I don't care what other people do. I'm doing my own thing and I'm not worried about what other people are doing. I already kind of touched on it in the Patreon video, but just to mention here, there are lots of exclusives and behind the scenes and me practicing and, talking through things. That's going on Patreon itself. If you want to go sign up there, by all means. If you don't, that's fine too. There's free stuff here for I hope you have a way to watch it ad-free is all I'll say, because ads kind of suck. I'm also starting a podcast. That's something different that you're going to see over the next year. Whenever I feel like it, maybe once a month. Don't want to set any kind of like hard, strict schedule because it'll be as often as I can do it. I want to teach myself. I want to learn. I want to educate myself. And onto that level, I decided to pick something that's kind of important to me, things that could be gone. I don't like to lose things. I don't think anyone likes to lose things, but animals go extinct. It's not great. And I figured I should look into that and learn about them while we have them around. That's kind of the premise of where the idea came from. And I thought about, what could I call it? Is it worth saving? Okay, cool. Yeah, why not? It's a title. I don't think it's too clickbait or anything. I think it's true to what I'm genuinely, at least starting at first, going to dive into a topic to talk about something that we could lose as a human species and hopefully can do something about. And I don't know if it's necessarily raising awareness more than me just teaching myself. And if people want to come along and learn what it is that I'm able to research about these things, I don't necessarily call it a deep dive. I think it's more like a shallow dip. I've now said that a couple different times. That's what I'm going with there. It's an excuse to educate myself. So that should be coming out soon. Just a solo podcast like this, but more audio focused. I'm hopefully going to make it sound better. I kind of built a whole thing in the closet in order to record this. And I've done the research. It's something that I'm putting a great deal of effort into. So I'm kind of hoping that it turns out really well. I've recorded the first one. It will be out soon. The next one I've got plans for, and it will be out when it will be out. Hopefully that'll be cool. It'll be out on YouTube as well for free and all the platforms that you get podcasts from. So on the main channel, like I said, we're not going to do like gameplay necessarily, but we are going to talk about whatever I want. That's kind of what I'm shifting into. I'm doing wildlife. That's the focus. But whenever I have time and I'm interested in talking about something else or doing something else, that's what we're going to do. You may have noticed that I started a whole series and I did it weekly for a while. Then I kind of pulled back when I ran out of things to talk about. And now it's just kind of a whenever I think I can do something. And I guess I never made that connection that it's me researching a physical item, whereas the podcast is going to be me researching more of a concept or a theory. I literally just made that connection right now. Interesting. So when we do have a physical object, especially vintage cameras, as I have quite a few, we're amassing quite a collection. I'm very happy about that. I'll sit down and do that and talk about it. That'll be something that'll be here on the main channel or whenever I want to do whatever I want to do. And that's what I'm changing. This will be more real life and action based. That sounds weird because it's not really animated on the secondary channel, but that is where all the gameplay goes. And this will be more of wildlife focus, secondary, whatever I feel like. Maybe I'm just talking in a personal vlog. Maybe I've got an item to talk about specifically. Maybe I'm just talking about a video game that I like, but I'm not necessarily showing the gameplay from it. Sure, why not? It's kind of just focused down into whatever I want to do after all the years I've been doing this. Rather than pigeonhole myself into something specific, it's just whatever I want to do. What is a pigeonhole? I have to research that. That sounds like a terrible thing, and I don't much care for the... Just based off the name itself, I've never considered where that would have come from, and I'm immediately uncomfortable thinking about what it is. Anyway, that's what you can expect into the next year. I did a year-end wrap-up last time. We're going to do that again. Expect that here in a day or two. I don't know exactly the release schedule of what's happening, but I'm kind of wrapping up the year, and I want to go over everything that I did and what I was able to achieve. It's a nice way to look back and then hopefully make some plans for the future. So that'll be out in a few days, I assume. I haven't recorded it yet. Maybe I'll do it right after this. Bye, everybody.